The time is just gone 10 minutes past 9 as we continue with the broadcast this morning. And we continue our focus on the tragedy that had occurred yesterday in Marshalltown in Johannesburg, where the building caught on fire. 74 people dead, well over 60 that have been injured. And we are now going across to be joined by the president of Action SA and also a former mayor of Johannesburg. We're speaking with none other than Herman Mashaba. Mr. Mashaba, good morning to you, sir, and welcome to the show.
Good morning, and thank you so much for giving me this opportunity on a sad day and period in the history of a democratic South Africa.
Well, it certainly is. And, in fact, when I looked at this tragedy, immediately you came to mind, Mr. Mshaba, because, you've been the former mayor of Johannesburg. You've been at the forefront of the struggle against illegal occupation of buildings. And, I know you've tried, you've been there, you've been in the cold face to do what you needed to do at this point in time. And I've seen your statement where you've mentioned now where the Joburg fire was a disaster in waiting to happen.
Hello?
Yes, sorry, Mr. Mashaba, we just lost you there for a minute. I'm not too sure whether you heard what I've had to say.
Yes, I also lost you for a minute. Yes. Huh?
Yes, I'm saying that, you being the former
Yes,
mayor of
I think it's
Johannesburg.
really very unfortunate because
Yes, sorry, Mr. Mashaba. I think there's a bit of a delay. There are some signal issues. But just to rephrase what I had to basically say is, being the former mayor of Johannesburg, you've made the statement now that this was a disaster waiting to happen.
yes, absolutely. And I think if you look at what happened to that particular building yesterday, we are sitting with over 100 of buildings, some of them actually in worse situation than that one. So unfortunately, as much as we might call this an accident, but it was an accident bound to happen. And if we don't do anything about it, the South Africa, we're going to pay a heavy price. We will forever lose lives totally unnecessarily because we have a government that does not care, the government that does not have the will, the government that is involved in criminal activity, allowing the hijackers, in some of them international crime syndicates, actually doing whatever they will want in our country.
Yes, and also looking at the city of Johannesburg, it's been a ticking time bomb for far too long. And while this bomb has been ticking, we've seen politicians, we've seen the instability within the city of Johannesburg, which is supposedly a world class African city. We've seen politicians jockeying for position, we've seen mayors come and go. And while all of this has been playing out on the in the political landscape, the city has been ignored totally. And again, a huge problem with regard to enforcement, bylaws, and addressing these type of potential disasters. And now that it's occurred, it's the second in a matter of a few weeks. We've had the underground explosion. Now we have this situation.
We've got the Zamazamas terrorizing people in Rivali and other areas. We have women being raped in Krugersdorp. So I think we're sitting with a real serious crisis in our country. Unfortunately, our law enforcement agencies, our criminal justice system, is captured by criminal syndicates. So we honestly on our own as a country, and unfortunately, this problem can be sorted out by South Africans, particularly Black South Africans, who we are in a majority. We are the ones who decide what kind of government we want. So, for as long as we are prepared to vote criminals into government, then we must accept the consequences of our actions.
Yes. Now, the key issue, Mr. Mashaba, is accountability and responsibility. Who is going to take accountability for this tragedy? We've already seen the blame game being played. We've seen Colleen Mokabela blaming NGOs for this. We've heard that this building was last inspected in 2019, and at that point in time, 140 odd arrests were made. And next moment, they were let out on the street, and the building was once again hijacked. It was once again occupied, and this seems to be a growing trend that is not ending.
Yes, that's what I'm saying is my personal experience and view is that as long as we have this government at a national level, this problem can only get worse because there's no way you're going to sort this matter out if we don't have the support of our criminal justice system. As long as we are not there are no consequences for hijackers, for people destroying our infrastructure. For as long as we are allowing our borders to be wide open, that anyone can come in and out as they please. Unfortunately, those are results of total lawlessness and political will to deal with these matters.
Exactly. Now, talking about political will, now obviously you have displayed in the past political will when you were the mayor of the city of Johannesburg. You had been in the cold place as well. Just looking at yourself, what you attempted to do, what were some of the challenges, and what actually prevented you from doing what you needed to?
Well, I fought as much as they unleashed insults and name calling, including reporting me to the Human Rights Commission. But I really fought. By the time I left in 3 years, I'd already identified 600 buildings hijacked, abandoned, derelict, and already 154 of them are already given them to the private sector to build affordable accommodation for our people, attracting something like 32 billion rands in investment in the city, creating 14,000 jobs, no, 14,000 housing opportunities, and creating 22,000 permanent jobs. However, in 2019, ANC and DA felt that I'm not the right person and started secret meetings to remove me as the mayor. For the DA, what they were saying, my focus is spent too much on poor communities, and for the ANC, I was pursuing corruption cases. But yes, ANC had the support of our criminal justice systems because they were not doing anything about this.
Yes, and also I think at the end of the day, when it comes to accountability, in your mind, who should be held accountable?
Well, unfortunately, you know what? Our criminal justice system, by not holding criminals accountable, no consequences for them. So they are the ones that I think for me, I would really say they are responsible. But I understand they are captured by national politicians. So it's a difficult situation. The solution, honestly and truly believe, for as long as we have this government in power, South Africa will eventually become a failed state.
Well, definitely, and we're fast heading that way. And comes next year, elections 2024. This is when we need to nail our colors to the mast. Once again, Mr. Mashaba, thank you very much for that and for coming to and talking to us at short notice. And we wish you all the best. Take care.
Okay. Bye.
Herman Mashaba, the president of Action SA, and also former mayor of the city of Johannesburg. We're going to go for a quick break. We'll be joined by Africa Muslims Agency when we get back.
Kids these days are smart.